With the 5th episode of Season 7 of Outlander being released, we saw that even though it was an episode that didn't offer much in terms of action, it was an intimate one that set up many things for the next episode, which is where I feel the action is going to occur. With a trailer for episode 6 being released just after episode 5, I thought it would be worth breaking down the trailer and giving my theories and predictions on what I think is going to happen next. So let's get into it. Here is Outlander Season 7 Episode 6 Trailer Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The trailer. So the trailer opened up with the individuals in the Continental Army that had to flee Fort Ticonderoga at the end of the previous episode due to the British Army attacking it from Sugarloaf Hill. They were out in the open water on their boats, but we saw them reach land and get off the boats almost immediately, so we know that they safely made it to land. Claire uttered the line, "Where are we going?" to Jamie, and he responded with south. So it shows us that they're heading deeper into the state to evade the British Army, following them occupying Ticonderoga. But this journey is something that doesn't look as though it's going to be easy. As Jamie spoke the line, "Ian and I will draw the soldiers away," showing us that there are individuals that are out there from the British Army that are nearby, and Jamie and the army could be walking into land that the British troops currently occupy. The next thing that we had was Ian saying to Jamie that if they got caught then he'd most likely be killed. This was paired with us seeing the British Army walking off altogether, with it then cutting to a later point in the day with Jamie attacking a soldier and it looking as though he was going to come out of it triumphant. After this, it then cut to Rachael Hunter as she was speaking to somebody, and she said the line, "I trust him." I think this is her referring to the spark and flirtatious mindset that she's been sharing with Ian. Judging by how they've been in the past couple of episodes, it most certainly feels as though they're going to be forming a connection and ending up being with one another in a romantic way. So I think this conversation is all about that. The next thing that we heard was Claire speaking to Jamie and saying that this was a turning point for the American cause. The turning point in the war was considered to be the Battle of Saratoga, a place that is further south from Ticonderoga in the state. So with the group of them heading south, I think this could be the battle that we may end up seeing in the next episode of the show, or at least the preparations for it being made, which will then show us how the odds will change and which side will be in a more favourable position. After this, we then had the line, "Scotland will have to wait a little while longer, I can't leave the fight now," which was something that was being spoken by Jamie. This is most likely referring to the trip that he was originally going to be doing when he was going to be returning Ian back to his mother. So with the turning point battle taking place, Jamie will most likely have a large hand in the direction of the battle and the outcome that occurs. With there being a scene in episode 5 where Roger was going to look in the history books to see if Claire or Jamie were mentioned at all when it came to the Revolutionary War, and Bree saying that she'd rather not due to being fearful of what they might have found, I think his involvement will be etched into the history books for the outcome of the battle, and they will eventually see it in there when they do take a look. We then had a quick succession of shots that occurred with no dialogue present whatsoever. The first was of Bree and Roger looking at a map. I think this could be a map that points towards the Jacobite gold, and the fact that they're going to try and pinpoint on the map whereabouts it could possibly be, and then they may end up trying to seek it out. The next was of Jamie with his hand on Claire's face. Judging by the time of day that it was, it looks as though it could be at around the same time as when he fought off the British troops. So maybe they were close to getting Claire and causing her harm. It does look like a sense of relief was present on her face, so maybe he did just save her and she's grateful. We then had one of William in his British troops uniform, showing that he's on a different side to his biological father, Jamie. So I feel we could eventually see a moment where they'll have to face off with one another, and we'll eventually see the reveal get made by Jamie. And he'll tell William that he's in fact his father, which will cause a massive shock amongst everybody. With him being so close to Rachael and Denzel and also Ian in the past couple of episodes, with them quite literally saving his life, the fact that he's on a different side in the war is something that will be interesting to see how it develops, especially when it comes to the dynamic of the group, because I feel we could see William potentially switch sides. After that, we then had one of Ian and Rachael looking like they were getting closer with one another again, as they shared a smile and locked eyes as it was just the both of them that were sat there, showing that they're definitely progressing in terms of their romantic situation. With there also being a focus in the previous episode around Ian being fearful of not being able to have children, with them potentially being together, could she end up being a mother to a son of his? That's most certainly an option that could happen. And then the final thing that we had in the trailer was of Roger running out of the house in the modern day time period with a look of anger on his face. I think this could well be taken from him spotting the individual that was looking inside of his house in the last episode and had been leaving litter there as well. So I think Roger will most likely catch them and then question them on what it is that they're doing and what their intentions are. It would also be interesting to see what this Nuckelavee reference is going to amount to as well, so I hope that also gets addressed in this scene. Then the trailer drew to a close and it cut to black, so judging by the feature that we were given, it looks like next week's episode could be the most action-packed one that we've seen throughout this season so far. With a battle, close calls, division in beliefs despite being close, and evading troops, there's going to be so much that happens that could quite literally change the direction of the story moving forwards. With the synopsis of the episode being Jamie and Claire help civilians flee Ticonderoga after the fort falls into British hands, Roger discovers the identity of the mysterious Nuckelavee. So it does very much feel like we're going to find out who and what is behind the mysterious viewings that's been occurring at the house. The title of the episode is called Where the Waters Meet, so I think that could also be alluding to the two different sides meeting on the battlefield as they set to take on one another in what will be the turning point of the Revolutionary War. There was nothing that mentioned Jamie's dreaming ability in the trailer or was pointing towards it, so I do wonder if we'll see that a bit more, or not, or if it's just going to be put to the side for now whilst the battles are taking place, and then only once the journey to Scotland recommences, maybe we'll see it then. I do wonder if Ian will also maybe not want to go back to Scotland if he finds love with Rachael, as if he does survive the war, then he might just want to start a family and settle down in the area that they're in, the area that they've fought for, so that could also change the trajectory of the narrative in the second part of the season. But I guess that's something that we'll just have to wait and see. There are still so many big things to come in this season of the show, and with us still having a ton of episodes left of Season 7, which means it's going to continue to be an enjoyable ride. So, there you have it, Outlander Season 7 Episode 6 Trailer Explained. If you'd like to see more videos such as Endings Explained, theories and predictions and character breakdowns, then click on the I button, or alternatively you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you'd like to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review, then head over to my Twitter, @BrainPilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What do you think is going to happen next? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.